Hi guys, welcome back to Iron's Vegan Vida. So for today's video, I have a super easy recipe for you guys. This is a dish I grew up eating and a dish that I chose to veganize really early on actually into my vegan journey. I have been vegan for 3 years now, and this dish has become like a staple in my household in general. It is really versatile. I will give you guys some examples on how you guys can use it. So today I am making papas con chorizo, which is potatoes with chorizo that I essentially veganized, but it didn't take much to veganize it, you know? The only difference really is the meat, and you just switched it to soy-based chorizo. Oh, there's also a lot of homemade chorizo ways you can do, you know? So I really wanted to film a video on this because this recipe is super versatile. Like, you can eat it served, you know, plain with some beans and some tortilla. You can also eat it as a filling for tacos, as a filling for gorditas. You can use it as a topping for sopes. You can use it for tortas. You can make breakfast burritos with it. I actually did make one at the end, so I'll show you guys that. And this dish is just super versatile and it's super simple. You know, it requires potato, chorizo, onion, garlic, spices, and oil. And that's really it. Everyone makes it different, so this is just my take on it, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for all the love. And if you recreate this video, please DM me on Instagram, tell me on here, comment, tag me. I love hearing from you guys, so be sure to like and subscribe as well. Thank you. Bye. Hey guys, so to begin this recipe, I'm gonna start off by dicing up some onion. You can use any onion of your liking, just make sure you dice it fine. And I also wanted to give you guys a little story time. So I'm dicing the onion in this clip, but in the next clip, off camera, I decided to peel the potatoes that I'm gonna use, which by the way were Idaho Russet. And I did get this new peeler earlier that week, and as I was peeling, I like almost completely blew off a nail because the peeler was so sharp and I had no idea at this point. So yeah guys, be careful. And now I'm just moving on to the potatoes. I like to dice up my potatoes pretty small for papas con chorizo because that way they just cook evenly. So just make sure you dice it as small as possible. That's my biggest tip to you guys. By the way, my favorite potatoes to use for this recipe is Idaho Russet, so that is what I recommend for you guys. And I use 4 small potatoes, or you can use 2 large ones. Now moving on to the cooking process, I'm adding half a tablespoon of some vegetable oil to a pan on medium heat, and I'm throwing in the potatoes first because I love when my potatoes get crispy before I add in the chorizo. I know some people like to boil the potatoes first and then just throw them in kind of like half cooked, but I like mine crispy, and this is what I recommend for you guys as well. So just be stirring for roughly, you know, 15 to 20 minutes. These will be cooked when you can stick a fork through them. Okay, so now to season the potatoes, I'm adding half a teaspoon of some black pepper, half a teaspoon of some paprika, and half a teaspoon of some Lawrys or seasoning salt. So once my potatoes are thoroughly cooked, I like to push them off to the edges and kind of create a hole where my chorizo can fall right in. And today I'm using my absolute favorite brand, which is the Cacique soy chorizo. I find this at my local store for like $1.99. It's actually relatively cheap. You can actually get it cheaper in other places, but yeah, so just throw that right in and brown it. You are more than welcome to use any other soy chorizo brand you have accessible to you, or your other favorite brand. If this isn't your favorite brand, which one is it? You know, I'm always down to try different soy chorizos. I feel like I've tried so many of them. So if you like a different brand, please comment down below and let me know, because I love chorizo. It was actually one of the biggest staples at the beginning of my vegan journey, because when I first became vegan in 2017, vegan alternatives were becoming widely popular, but not nearly as easy or accessible as it is now. So soy chorizo was always there at every market, and it just always hit the spot. And to that, I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of some diced onion and 2 freshly minced garlic cloves. I love using raw fresh garlic in my recipes. I feel like it really brings out the flavors and it just makes this dish so much better than it already was. And now I'm just gonna stir that right in so all those flavors could combine. And making this as an adult made me realize why I ate it so much as a kid. You know, like when my grandma would make it, or when we would have visitors over and someone would make it, like my mom or something, because this dish is so easy and relatively cheap if you think about it, you know. And you can really play around with this recipe, you know. You don't have to keep it so simple. You can add more things to it or less. And as always, make sure to adjust seasonings at the end. I decided I need a little bit more salt, so I added half a teaspoon of some regular salt sprinkled over. And there you guys have it. I decided to plate this up super plain and simple for you guys. I served it up and just garnished it with some fresh cilantro, but this would pair beautifully with a homemade pico de gallo or a homemade tomatillo salsa, which I do have 2 recipes for on my channel, so I'll link that down below. And in the description I'll have all the ingredients and some suggestions of what you can make with this dish. For some inspiration, I added in a clip of me making some breakfast burritos with this dish. I added in the papas con chorizo, huevos a la mexicana, which is vegan Mexican eggs. I have a recipe for that as well. It is going to be in my next video, so I'll link that down below. This is probably my favorite way of using the papas con chorizo other than tacos. It is so hearty, so filling, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this more laid back, easy, super quick, you know, 30-minute Mexican recipe. If you guys have any other suggestions on anything you want me to veganize, you know, that'd be comfort food, Mexican food, your childhood favorites, be sure to comment down below, DM me on Instagram. My DMs are always open for you guys. Thank you guys so much for the continuous love. Bye.